Hello guys and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about trail braking. So for all of you that don't really understand trail braking or what it is, trail braking splits up the peak force the tire is able to generate. Partially it goes towards steering and partially it goes towards braking. So whenever you're trying to brake and turn at the same time and you get a little bit of understeer while braking, you're wondering why is this happening and why for some reason can I not turn like you. So what is stopping me from turning like you are? And in this video I'll try to answer those questions, and I think it's going to be a little bit easier to understand. So whenever you're trying to focus the car in the right direction, so for example, if you're going straight, you need to apply 100% on the brakes. But as you start to turn in, you need to be applying less and less braking. So this way you're pushing the weight of the car to the front, so the car can actually kind of grab the corner a little bit better. So you're kind of, as I said before, you're partially going to braking and partially the force is going towards steering. So we'll just go through this concept, and of course let's do it in a video. So 100% of the brakes going when I'm straight, and when I'm trying to turn in, you can see the 50% of the brakes and 50% with the turning. And same goes with here, 80-20 is the distribution you're getting here. So it goes either way, so it's either 80-20 or 20-80. So it really goes both ways. So most of the time it's really about braking in the straight line and just carrying that speed through the corner. And you want to carry as much speed as possible. For example, let's have a look at this last turn, and I'm going to slow down the footage so you can see it a little bit better. I'm approaching the turn, and as I said before, it's just simple. I think I will try to make it simple, but when I'm going into the corner, I already have this concept in my mind. I just got so used to it. So whenever you're going towards the turn, brake 100% in the straight line, and then when you try to turn in, then you go and get off the brakes or start getting off the brakes. But now, bad scenario, what if you overdo it? What happens if you overdo the trail braking? What can happen? Something like this. Maybe not this extreme, but the car can lose the back, or you can lose the back of the car, and it might be a very difficult to get it back in line. So you need to brake straight and then start the turn while having control of the back of the car, which MR cars don't really like. I mean, MR cars are mostly about not really that much trail braking like the F4 cars, but we're gonna have a couple of situations that I'm gonna explain right here. So MR car, like this Lamborghini, doesn't really like that much trail braking, so you need to focus on stabilizing the back end of the car with a little bit of throttle. So you can see, once again, I'm moving the car in the direction I want to be, and then kind of hoping that it's not going to slide by applying a little bit of braking. So in this case, for example, I'm using an F4 car. I did too much turning while still on the brakes, and it caused a lot of understeer. I think this will answer a lot of your questions. So for example, if you're turning and braking at the same time, why am I getting so much understeer? And the reality of this is probably you're putting in too much braking, or you're just not getting off the brakes early enough. So you need to brake and turn at the same time, just keeping in mind that, you need to have a total of 100%. So either 80% is going towards braking, or let's say 20% is going towards braking and 80% is going towards steering. That force has to go somewhere. And you need to match the braking and steering, as I said before. In this way, I'm matching, and I'm 50% of the turning and then off the brakes. So this car it's not really the real definition of how to drive this car, but as I'm going towards this corner, it really becomes clear what I'm trying to understand and what I'm trying to show here to you. So 50% on the brakes as I'm trying to turn it at 50%, and 50% on the brakes, and as I try to turn in even more, I'm getting off the brakes. So if I stayed on the brakes at that point, I would lose it. The car would just understeer, and I would lose speed, and I would lose, of course, I would just understeer into the corner. So you need to keep in mind that every time you're doing something on the track, every time it's really about this concept. It doesn't really change. So nothing really changes, maybe except in higher classes. For example, if you're going and driving a faster car, you need to do less trail braking because you need to get used to downforce, all of the downforce that the car has. So you need to kind of abuse the downforce in that matter, and it's really easy to lock the front. So if you're staying on the brakes and if you're trail braking way too much, you will lock the fronts and car won't be able to turn. So you just need to get off the brakes and the car will be able to turn. And for example, at this point, I was at about 70-80% of the rotation of the steering, and I just got a little bit of trail braking, maybe about, I wouldn't say this was trail braking, but a little bit, just a little bit trail braking, maybe down to 15%. And as you're going up here, car has the tendency to understeer even more. So I'm getting off the brakes a little bit sooner than I usually would, and then trying to turn, and it really works much better. So as I'm going, for example, in an uphill section, you need to get off the brakes sooner, and also if you're going in the downhill section, you might lose the back end a little bit easier than if it's done in the straight line. But Group 1 cars, for example, work in kind of a similar fashion, but it's always different. So every class is a little bit different, and I will put, I will put the video for each class. So high speed, less trail braking. So the car has the downforce, so use that downforce. You don't need to trail brake that much. You need to brake in the straight line and use that little bit of extra trail braking to help you turn the car. So you're not going to brake in the same way as you're braking, let's say, with Group 2, Group 3, or Group 4. It's going to be a little bit different. So every time that I'm thinking about which car class am I going to, which principles do I need to apply. So all of those things matter, and in the end, it's really what makes you quicker. So those little things in the end make you quicker. So I'm gonna repeat myself. I mean, trail braking is the concept where you split the force. So the force has to go somewhere. It either goes to your steering or your braking. So the distribution always needs to be 100%. So it's either going 80% towards the steering and 20% to the brakes, or if it's going 20-80, it doesn't matter. It can go 50-50%, and just the total output needs to be 100. So whenever you're turning, whenever you're braking, just keep in mind about this concept. Think about what you're doing, and once you do it for a while, it really becomes a habit, and just being much easier to understand and apply later. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. So if you did, please smash that like button, and as I said before, thank you once again for watching my videos, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.